In this video, I'm going to give you 5 must-knows before buying a Mamod steam engine. Number 1. There are many different types of live steam engine brands, but the 2 main ones in my opinion are Wilsco and Mamod. Now, Wilsco is known for their advanced designs which are good, but if you're a beginner it might be harder to understand. And part of the live steam hobby is actually knowing how your engine works. So they do give a better result in overall torque, speed, and reliability, but they're less simple, meaning they're harder to modify and harder to understand for a beginner. Mamod is a great all-around brand. It has a pretty decent amount of torque, a pretty decent amount of speed, and the simpler design makes it much easier to modify. So in all conclusion, I would definitely recommend a Mamod for any type of beginner, but it also can be nice if you want to be more advanced and you already know how steam engines work. Now, Mamod has made a lot of different engines, and I would recommend that you just buy whatever you like, but if you want a recommendation, I would recommend getting the TE1A Mamod tractor. Number 2. Choosing the right Mamod. Now, I know I just said that you should buy the Mamod TE1A steam tractor, but I would still like to go over all the different types of Mamods. The Mamod steam wagon. In my opinion, it looks a bit cartoony, but nonetheless, I still think it's a pretty cool engine. The Mamod Roadster. The Roadster is a car, and I also really like how it looks. It looks pretty cool, but it's pretty hard to steer, and it's a bit annoying to get into the different places to oil and fill with water. The Mamod Roller. It's basically the Mamod tractor, but the 2 wheels on the front are connected, making a cylinder. The Mamod stationaries. They have a bunch of different types of stationaries. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller, but I usually don't recommend buying a Mamod stationary. I would always go for Wilsco because Wilsco just makes the best stationaries. The Mamod trains. Trains are a delight, because you can place them on tracks and just make them drive around in circles. They're very highly detailed and I really like how they look, but they can get quite pricey. So if you want to go all out, I would maybe recommend buying a train, but they're harder to come across and they're more expensive. So I would still just stick with the classic Mamod tractor TE1A. Number 3. What do you actually need to start up your Mamod? Now, I'm just going to quickly go over all the different things that you're going to need to buy for your Mamod. First, the oil. The oil needs to be thick motor oil or specialized steam oil. Now for the fuel. Your typical Mamod is going to run on a spirit or 100% alcohol burner. And that basically just means that you're going to need to buy some spirit or 100% alcohol. Now for the water, you're going to need distilled water. That basically just means that it has no minerals in it. And the reason why you don't want to have minerals, it's because the minerals will clog the pipes, and that basically just means that steam can't go to the piston and it will be unusable. So never use tap water. Number 4. Where can you actually find and buy a Mamod? You can't buy them from the Mamod store because that closed in 2003. So I'm just going to give you some recommendations on the best places to find Mamods. We're gonna start with eBay. eBay is great. There's a bunch of different listings and a bunch of different models. Mamods, Wilscos, whatnot. eBay is great to find specific models and also just basic models. So all around, eBay is a great choice. Etsy is also an okay place to find them. It's definitely rarer than eBay, but sometimes you may get lucky, and usually the listings are a lot more unique. Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is also pretty great. You can find ones in your area and it's pretty cheap. It may still be hard to find specific ones like on eBay, but I still think Facebook Marketplace is pretty damn decent. Antique model shops. Antique model shops, especially in the UK, usually have a bunch of Mamods. And the nice thing with stores are that you can actually go in there and actually look at them. Model engineering shows. Yes, they do require you to drive to the show, and you may sometimes need to buy a ticket, but there's a lot of unique models in there like Mamod or even scratch-built models. But in my opinion, your number 1 place to find them is either going to be on Facebook Marketplace or on eBay. Number 5. How to run your Mamod safely and correctly. This is going to be the final step before you buy your Mamod, and we're just going to be going over the different safety precautions and the right way to run your Mamod. First thing you do is you grab your Mamod and you oil all moving parts. First, you oil the cylinder, the lever, the whistle, the flywheel, the bottom wheels, not necessary, but it does make it roll smoother, and finally the back of the piston. Now that you've oiled it, you're going to need to check the safety valve to check if it works. The safety valve's job is to relieve pressure in the engine. So if the pressure comes above the recommended level, the safety valve will automatically release the pressure. So what you're going to do is you're going to tug on the top part of the safety valve to check if it moves. If it moves, then that means you have a nice and healthy safety valve. If it doesn't move, try oiling it and see if you can move it. If you still can't move it, then you're going to need to buy a repair, and thankfully Mamod still manufactures spares and repairs, so you can actually just buy that from the Mamod store or from a second-hand seller. Now that you've oiled your engine, now you're going to be ready to fire up your Mamod. Now, there's two ways of doing this. First way is air testing it. If you have an air compressor, you could unscrew the safety valve and put the air compressor on the hole and then just run it on the air compressor. This is nice because you don't need to put any water in or heat, but it doesn't give you the authentic steam engine feel, so I usually like to run my engines on steam, even though that I have an air compressor. Now you need to pour water into your engine. Now when pouring the water, you're going to want to use a funnel. If you don't have a funnel, it's going to be a mess, so I would highly recommend getting one. First unscrew the safety valve, and then unscrew the little plug on the back. And then you pretty much slowly just pour the water into the funnel until the water begins pouring out of the back. And put the safety valve back on, and put the plug back in the hole on the back, and then you're good to go. And then you pour spirit into the burner tray and light it. You put the burner tray back into the Mamod, and now you just wait. Now, how you test if it has enough steam. You pull down the whistle, and where there comes a lot of steam out of the whistle, you know it's ready. Now you've waited and it has enough steam. The lever on the piston is to control which way it drives. Turning it left means it goes forward, turning it right means it goes backwards. So what you're going to do to fire up the engine is just give the flywheel a little turn, and if it has enough steam, it's going to begin turning. And if you want your Mamod to drive, you can attach a metal band from the flywheel to the main wheel. And there you go. Your engine is now driving around beautifully. You don't want your engine to run out of water because that will make the engine overheat. So when you can feel the engine has a hard time feeling steam, or you have had it on for about 10 minutes, you should probably put the fire out. You carefully slide the burner tray out and try and blow out the fire. If you can't blow out the fire, just let it sit until it dies out. Now you wait for the Mamod to cool down so it's safe to touch, and after about 5 minutes it should be alright. You turn the Mamod upside down. You're going to keep on trying to pour it out upside down until something comes out of the chimney, or you've done it so many times that you know that there's nothing inside the chimney. You don't need to pour out all the water in the Mamod. You can actually just let it sit, but if you prefer, you can just pour it out. But I tend to just keep it in because that means that I don't need to fill in as much water the next time. And you've just fired up your Mamod. Thanks for watching. Stay steaming.